Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we are again at Click Lewis Chevrolet up here right outside of Hershey, and we got a really cool car coming up for you guys. I'm going to do a review on something you're definitely going to want to see. All right guys, so check it out. The car we're going to be looking at today is a Mustang. I know what you guys are thinking, a Mustang on a Corvette channel, but this car's pretty cool, guys. This is actually the GT350. Again, I'm checking this out over at Click Lewis in Palmyra, and they were nice enough to let me take the car for the day again, and it's actually a really cool Mustang. Before we get too much into it, one of the biggest reasons I really wanted to get some experience with something like this is because there is a good chance that the C8 Z06 is going to have a flat plane crank engine, and this obviously does as well. Since it's the 350, it's the manual transmission, and it sounds freaking amazing. Like, the exhaust on the 350s has always been something I love the sound of, but I haven't really had a lot of experience with one. Honestly, the little bit that I've driven it so far, I actually really like it. And I mean, obviously I'm a Chevy guy, but this car is not bad. It's got some great performance, great sound, great features. We're gonna go over everything here in a second, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. I'm not turning into a Mustang guy or even a Ford guy, but this car's pretty nice. We have 19-inch wheels in the back and the front, 305 width tires in the rear, 295 up in the front. So this thing is definitely built for doing some ripping it up on the track. We have the black front splitter, the black side skirts all the way back, black side view mirrors, the whole blacked out theme of the car with the white stripes. It actually looks really nice in person. The red is perfect. It pops nicely. It actually isn't coming through real great on camera because this is actually a really vibrant red in person. It's a little more muted on camera, it looks like, but it's pretty striking. Ford goes with a very two-piece setup with the front rotors and the rear rotors, both Brembo style brakes. Real lightweight wheels for this particular GT350. Like I said, guys, very heavily track focused here. So let's climb inside, take a look at some of the features we get in here. A lot of what we see here is typical of a Mustang. There's a lot of kind of plasticky feeling stuff, but they do a good job at actually hiding some of it with some soft touch rubber material over top of a lot of it. The door handles and some of the trim are like almost a black chrome, and you're greeted as soon as you open up the door with the Ford Performance. So we know this isn't just your typical Mustang. It's not your typical Ford car. This is something special. And you get that impression even more as soon as you see that emblem on the steering wheel. Now also we have, of course, the Recaros in the GT350. These things have some insane bolstering. I mean, look at that. You actually have to like climb over this into the seat. They are extremely nice looking seats though, and they hold you very well. Daily driving or track driving, these things are not going to let you go anywhere. Now, as typical with most Recaro seats, they're cloth. You can't even get these in leather that I know of, at least not from factory. But with that said, it's also all manual controls, no power. The steering wheel, all Alcantara or microfiber. Same with the seats. It's going to prevent sliding around on the track as much as possible, and it's going to give you a real solid feel. Now, once we're inside the car, like I said, this right here kind of gives you a good indication we're in something kind of special. This is the Shelby Super Snake Type 350. Ford's never been my #1 choice, and neither have Mustangs, but this thing is really, really nice. I'm actually very impressed with the way it drives, the way it sounds, especially. It's really not bad. What do you guys think? Should I get one of these for the horsepower obsessed garage? But anyway, once we're in here, a lot of this looks very similar to a regular Mustang. We have the same kind of dash shape thing here. Some gauges in the middle right there. We got oil pressure and oil temperature. These are the kind of things you want to keep a close eye on when you're on the track in a car like this. Now, for the most part, the dash up here has a little bit of a soft touch rubber type stuff here, but this is plastic. Little soft touch here, more plastic. There's a lot of plastic in this interior, and for the price of the car, I don't know that that's okay. You're not really buying a car like this for the glorious interior, I know, but at the same time, you know, you can get a lot of cars nowadays that give you crazy good performance with a better setup interior. I'm not necessarily saying I don't like this. I do like the layout of it for the most part, but like right in here, we don't get much of a screen. A lot of these are just your typical analog gauges, which aren't necessarily terrible, but at this price point, you would think we would get a little bit more digital screens and you know, customized layouts and stuff like that. Now, the little digital screen you do get is all controlled from here. You can also control, obviously, the audio settings for the radio from here. We have a couple different mode selections, your answer for your Bluetooth cell phone, buttons like that on your steering wheel. Pretty much normal setup here. Definitely an interesting addition, though, is the black center line here for the steering wheel. Usually, especially on a red car, I would like to see that be red, but I like the idea. I like cars that do this because this is actually pretty important, especially on the track whenever you need to know where your wheels are at and all that good stuff. Over on the left-hand side of the dash, we have Ford's typical light selecting thing. We have, obviously, it's on auto mode now. You can select all that different options there. This is basically the same in every Ford vehicle I've ever seen, and not a huge fan, but it gets the job done. So on the left of that is the brightness for the speedometer to go down or to go up. It would illuminate the RPM as well as the speedometer a little bit brighter, and that center digital screen. To the left on the side of the steering wheel here, we have the button to pop the trunk, and then this very interesting little hidden compartment. If you press this, you can actually slide this out, and you got a whole bunch of room in there to hide whatever it is you might want to hide from someone. We also have what is definitely unusable rear seats. I'm not really sure why we would even have that. I know in the GT350R that is actually deleted, and if you look, I mean, the room there, you would have to be about 5 years old with the skinniest legs in the world to get back there. One part I really like of the interior is, of course, that red push button start. I love whenever the interior, for the most part, is black and then that red push button just stands out and is begging you to push it. We're gonna push that here in a second, though. Mustangs in general have a really awesome sounding exhaust. This one, being the flat plane crank engine, sounds even better somehow. And of course, we have the ability down here to customize how loud the exhaust is or how quiet it is. Obviously, we have some traction control, your hazard lights, and then of course we have LC right there, which is Ford's best way of abbreviating launch controls. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the specs here in a second, but one of the best ones that stands out to me is this guy right here. We get a manual transmission, and there is not an option for anything else. You either get this car with a manual or you do not get this car. I actually like the shifter. It's a little notchy feeling, but I like the way it looks. We're going to get more into the driving here in a second as well, but I really love seeing this being offered on a newer car, especially one of this caliber. Now, for all of you out there who need your cup holders, we do get 2 cup holders right here, again surrounded in very plasticky material. Not necessarily the best feeling stuff on the planet, but it gets the job done. They're placed in an area that doesn't really interfere too much with the shifting ability, so that's okay. I like the e-brake on this side. If we're going to have a physical e-brake instead of an electronic one, I'd rather it be here than over here. Some car companies put it over here. I think that's kind of weird. I like it right here myself. For a track car especially, this is perfect. For the most part, guys, that's the interior. We get our auto dimming mirror up here, of course. That's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot craziness going on in the interior here. This car is really not built for luxury of any kind, so what you see is what you get. I do like the semi-black chrome accents around everything, even though it's not actually metal, it's just plastic. It accents well with the doors, the handles, the steering wheel, the shifter, even around the cup holder. It does work well in here, and the interior is not bad at all. It's just, they could have definitely benefited from some higher end materials, I think. But anyway, guys, like I said, that's not the focus of this car, so I'm going to jump out, show you what the focus is. This is definitely this car's selling point. It is going to be the 5.2 liter flat plane crank. It has 526 horsepower and 429 foot-pounds of torque, naturally aspirated. Definitely nice numbers for a naturally aspirated car. And like I said, manual only, so definitely pretty cool stuff here. I mean, the flat plane crank maintains a lower center of gravity. Everything about the way this car is set up is definitely interesting, and it's not really something you see every day. Not many companies are doing anything like this. I mean, this is basically a cold air intake, and that's really awesome. I only know of one other car that does that, and it's the Camaro Z28 from the 5th gen. Ford also went with some weight saving stuff with the carbon fiber composite front radiator support. Definitely pretty cool. I know other Mustangs have had this as well, but saving weight was really big part of making this car so great, especially with the GT350R. They were saving as much weight as possible. Again, we got the Shelby GT350 emblem right there on the front. Shelby right along downside the front splitter. Very opened up grill here, so you can get as much air in there to cool that engine as possible. Same thing down below. Over on the side here, we have HID headlights. We got our daytime running lights right there. Down here we have the turn signal bulbs, and that's really all there is to the front end. Most of it is grill, like I said, for cooling purposes. It definitely gives it a sporty look, there's no doubt about it. These little canard things here actually make it look like they're teeth for the Shelby snake. I think that's a cool design element. We actually come up to the hood here with a functional heat extracting vent. Pretty cool stuff there too. Like I said, they wanted to keep this thing cool and lightweight. That's the way to do it. So anyway, let's start this thing up, get a nice sound for you guys. That's where this thing really shines. And as any of you know, the Mustangs get the sequential turn signals. I always thought that that was a really cool feature, something interesting to set it apart a little bit from some of the other similar style muscle cars. And in the back, we also get the giant Shelby letters back here and the Shelby snake again. Because of these sequential turn signals, the reverse light is actually down here below the bumper, and it actually provides a lot of light back for you to actually see with the backup camera right there. Up here above the rear window is the third brake light and the XM antenna up on top. No sunroof on this car either. Now, as you guys know, the GT500 is coming here very soon, and it is even more powerful and more track focused than this one. What it actually added was a big supercharger and a dual clutch transmission, which is your only option. So the GT500 is faster than the GT350, but there is no manual transmission offering. That makes people like me sad, but at the same time, it does hit 0 to 60 even faster than this one, and it's going to be even more of a monster. So, you know, you can't blame Ford for doing things to further their performance cars. Here's a shot of the daytime running lights on and the front turn signal. Unfortunately, it looks like we just get an incandescent bulb in there. I'd like to have seen some LEDs, but like I said, this car was not built for luxury. This was built for blistering speed and tearing up the track. So now that we've heard the exhaust, now we got to take it for a ride. All right, so here we go, guys. We got a Chevy guy driving a Ford Mustang GT350. I don't know how well you can hear that, but this car sounds friggin' phenomenal. It's definitely amazing sounding. Listen to that exhaust, guys. My God, the flat plane crank in this thing sounds friggin' awesome. So guys, kind of cool. I don't know if you can see it up there, but there's actually a shift light built into the dash. How awesome is that? Guys, I'm liking it. I really hope that that C8 gets a flat plane crank because this car sounds friggin' awesome. I'm gonna open up the window a little bit so you guys can hear this exhaust. Unbelievable. I love it. It sounds amazing. This shifter is very, very notchy. I don't know if I like the shifter in the car. I would probably change that out to something like an MGW or something, whatever they make for Fords. But it sounds awesome. It rides really nicely. I'm very impressed with the way this car rides. It's flat, it stays flat, but when you're hitting the bumps, it's not like it's horribly jarring. Ooh, listen to that! Oh, I love it. Amazing. I'm a sucker for a good sounding exhaust, but this flat plane crank really takes it to a different level. Someone is taking their test driving a little too seriously, I think. Wow, does that sound good? What do you, oh, listen to that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know down below, what do you think of this GT350? I'm actually very impressed with it. I think Ford knocked it out of the park with the GT350, and I'm sure the GT500 is going to be awesome in its own way as well. I know it's not a Mustang channel, and I'm more of a Chevy or Corvette guy specifically, but I can appreciate all cars, and this one is definitely an amazing car. There's no doubt in my mind. I saw this on the lot. I definitely wanted to take it out. But let me know what you think down below. If you have any questions about any of the content here, anything, Mustang, Corvette, whatever it is, shoot them down in the comment section down below or send me an email, horse.power.obsessed@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. I'm going to be doing a lot of these kind of reviews thanks to Click Lewis here in Palmyra. They let me kind of come out here, take whatever cars they may have on the lot that are really cool. So we have options in the future for a lot of cool cars, guys. So definitely keep an eye out for these videos. I'm going to be doing a review here and there, and I want to see what you guys think of them. But anyway, guys, if you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of C7 and C8 and all kinds of regular car content like this coming. You're not going to want to miss it. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next upload.
What do you think, babe? You switching from the Corvette to the Mustang?
Nope.